Welcome inside the broadcast booth, everybody. I'm Joe Buck. Tom Verducci and Harold Reynolds are coming right up. Well, last night went according to plan for the Kansas City Royals. A great start, handed over to the bullpen. Plenty of runs. They won game one against that high-powered Toronto Blue Jays offense. But now today, the guy who's supposed to stop it for the Toronto Blue Jays, Tom, if you're Alex Anthopoulos on July 30th, you pull the trigger on this deal to get David Price into the Blue Jay organization. You trade your top pitching prospect to get him. This is a game that he's got to win.
No doubt. Well, think about the resume. Cy Young winner, 20-game winner. There's a jackpot waiting for him at the end of the free agent rainbow. But then you get to that line. Postseason starts. Who does that belong to? That doesn't look like David Price numbers. 6 starts, 6 losses. But when you go back to game 1 of the ALDS, you get a window into why this is happening. It's about fastball command. He threw 42 fastballs in this game, had no swings and misses. Fastball up in the zone or over the plate. He needs to command the fastball on both sides of the plate. If he does that, then his changeup and cutter become more effective. Listen, this game is not just about polishing a resume. It's about getting the Jays back into the series.
And I know you like this matchup, Price.
I do. Left-handed hitters, he will neutralize them in the Kansas City lineup.
Let's go to the other side and talk about the Kansas City right-hander. Don't forget about that guy. He's young. He is a fireball pitcher, the right-hander, Yordano Ventura. Excited to see him pitch today.
Well, we saw the effect last night of the power of the Royal pitching, how hard they threw the ball and how they used it. Ventura's right there at the top. You talk about top young guns in the baseball, the league. This kid, the second half of the year, what he put together in the 14 starts, 9-1 record, the numbers speak for themselves. But I think the big thing has been how consistent he's been. And now, the question will be, how will he attack him? Most people thought, okay, he's going to bust him inside. That's what we all thought the plan would be against Toronto. Well, early in the summer, you see here Donaldson with the home run on a fastball on the inside half. And right here, Bautista got him on a hanging breaking ball. So I think we learned something last night, and even going back and watching Gallardo pitch in the division series. But last night, Volquez did a great job of keeping the ball away, neutralizing their power to the right-handed hitters away from the middle part of the zone. So I think we're going to see Ventura follow that same act, try to keep the ball away.
What's it going to be? Kansas City up 2-0, or Toronto out of here with a split going back home? It's game 2 next on FS1. Kauffman Stadium. It's ALCS game number 2, and here comes the kid, Yordano Ventura. Just 24 years old from the Dominican Republic. 6-footer, 195. He's had an interesting year. He burst onto the scene last year, was so good in the postseason for Kansas City at such a young age. But he fired some teams up with some inside deliveries. He was sent to the minors, never actually left the building, came right back and was activated. And since he was quote-unquote recalled, Harold talked about it during the open. 9-1 record, ERA just over 3. He made 2 starts, one of them rain-shortened in the division series against Houston. And on this sun-splashed day, Tom Verducci, where it may be hard to see here early, we'll see how Ventura matches up against David Price.
Well, listen, this kid's got electric stuff. Upper 90s on both the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer. But the equalizer is the curveball. That's his go-to pitch recently, last 2 months of the season, especially with 2 strikes. And you're absolutely right, Joe, about the shadows here. Dale Swain, the hitting coach for the Royals, said really the first 2 or 3 innings here might be very, very difficult for the hitters.
No surprises in the lineup for John Gibbons, and that's a good thing because it means Edwin Encarnacion is okay to go. Ben Revere leads it off, then Josh Donaldson. Jose Bautista, the right fielder. There's Encarnacion, who has inflammation, a strain in that middle finger left hand. He had to leave the lineup last night. He's back today. Colabello is at first to Lewitzki. Blue Jays need to get their shortstop hitting. Russell Martin is back in there after Navarro got the start last night. Kevin Pillar in center. Ryan Goins is the second baseman. Good with a glove. Finally got his first hit of the postseason here last night. So defensively behind Ventura. And right now it's Kane in center holding his glove up, trying to shield his eyes. High sky here today. Nothing will be taken for granted. Gordon, Kane, Rios in the outfield. Moustakas, Escobar, Zobrist, Hosmer, Salvador Perez. Two-time Gold Glove Award winner behind the plate. Ventura on the mound, and an early shout out for and now from Ken Rosenthal.
Joe, Edwin Encarnacion received a cortisone shot with a numbing agent after last night's game. If this was the regular season, he might not be playing today. This is not the regular season.
He will back clean up the DH. Thank you, Ken. Off we go. Glad you're with us on FS1. Strike one. Ben Revere last night went 0 for 4. 7 for 27 this postseason. Little pop to that. 98 from Giordano. Ball one.
It's been such ease seeing how hard these guys are throwing, and that's the deception with him. Nice and easy delivery, and then boom, the ball's on you.
Revere looking back out toward Ventura after that foul tip, like he was having a tough time picking up the baseball. He's in the hole 1 and 2.
Well, this is where you want to stay with fastball and the velocity, especially at Ventura. Takes a little longer to pick up the baseball, so don't even mess with a breaking ball.
Upstairs 2 and 2.
I think he can throw basically anything he wants right now. When the pitcher is in the light and the ball's coming into the dark, if it was the other way around, it's a lot easier. But when he's in the light and it comes to dark, tough to pick up.
Defensive swing by Revere. Count still 2 and 2.
Now watch the baseball. As you see it's released, you're picking it up fine, and all of a sudden it gets here, it disappears. And so with his velocity, you're guessing it might stay on the same plane. He throws something off speed, it might be impossible to catch up to.
Right side, Zobrist. One out. Home plate umpire was moving around back there after that ground ball out. Les Diaz, John Hirschbeck, the crew chief at first. He'll have game 3 behind the plate in Toronto. There's Hunter Wendelstedt at second. Dan Iasonia is at third. On the right field line, that's Tony Randazzo, had the plate last night. And there's Jeff Nelson in left. John Moore, our director, showing the faces of the men in black. One out. Here's Donaldson. Strike one. For coverage of this game in Spanish, please tune to Fox Deportes. There's a guy who's been in the top 10 in the MVP voting the previous 2 years. Probably end up in the top spot this year. There's the old string pull. Strike 2.
No chance at hitting that ball.
98 at the knees.
There's an 0-2. Carolina 2 down. 98 from Ventura.
Well, he did 2 things right there. The second fastball was sinking, so almost impossible to hit. This one, he's coming, staying up on it, but it's away once again. And once you get that ball away from the hitters and come into the shadow, you even see Perez flinching when he's catching the ball.
9 pitches, 9 fastballs. I'm not sure that Jay saw any of them.
Now Batista, Jose last night 0 for 1 with 3 walks. He's hit 2 home runs this postseason among his 6 hits.
I guess Batista thought it was okay because he's been complaining on every strike, so I guess he saw the ball all right.
Even he agreed. Backing up, Moustakas. Off we go, bottom of the first. David Price, it's all on you. score in game 2. Also known as Ned. Here's the lineup for Kansas City.
I see why I went with Ned.
Escobar, Zobrist, and Kane. Hosmer, Morales, Moustakas, Perez, Gordon, and Rios. Same group as game 1. Why not? Last night was a 5-0 win as the pitching was good enough to hold the top offense in baseball to a 3-hit shutout. Here's Alcides Escobar. Jumped on the first pitch last night and doubled. Why not? Base hit into right. Could roll it up there on the first pitch and he'd swing.
It's just amazing. His last 9 times up, he has seen 14 pitches. Swung at 11 of them. And that's out of the strike zone. He doesn't care.
Even David Price had to smile at that. Like, are you kidding me?
But David knows he's swinging first pitch there.
He threw it up and away, thinking he's not going to catch up to this. He's going to take that. It's a ball.
Here's Zobrist. Got the sunglasses on. So he's got even more shade at home plate. Strike 1.
Trying to knock that glare down from the pitcher behind you and try to get that on the same plane to be able to see the ball.
The regular season was phenomenal, both in Detroit and then with Toronto. Went 9-1. Off the hands, good pitch, strike 2. And I know we're going to get into this, and we'll get into it with Ken Rosenthal as we go through today as well. There have been good starts by David Price in the postseason and in important games. But for a guy that just got traded to be the stopper in a rotation, to be the guy, this is the one that gets circled.
True. Agree with that.
Left side. Donaldson gets 1. And got them both.
And Ryan Goins, a lot of folks say he should win a Gold Glove at second base. Now, there's some steep competition there, but what a turn.
Oh, and Zobrist isn't leaving. He thinks he was safe.
What's the turn here now? Donaldson does a nice job getting rid of it, but this is all Goins in the arm.
Let's take a look. He's safe.
Yeah, he is.
And if Ned Yost wants to challenge and he's being called over, he will.
It shouldn't take that long, though.
That's an easy call.
This should take 20 seconds.
Exactly. Walk over, yes, play ball. He's safe.
And I know you see it all year long. This is where the delays just get to be too long. You can see it in 1 second. The guy's safe. And let's go.
Tell you what, that was telling about David Price, though, because that ball was in on Zobrist. Continued to gun him. Here's the turn right here. Watch how quick he gets rid of this ball. Catch, boom.
Great feed from Donaldson, too, right on the money.
Well,
Goins using the base to protect himself.
It tells me, Joe, too, Zobrist's knee is healthy. And I asked Ben about that. I said, after your knee surgery, how long did it take you to recover? And he said, I really didn't feel myself till the second half of the season. And you notice in Oakland, he was playing a lot of outfield. So I continued, and I said, did they have you in the outfield because of the knee and having to bend all the time with pitches? And he said, no, they needed another outfielder. But he's healthy, and that was a big sign of it right there.
So now Lorenzo Cain 1-on, 1-out. And Cain has good numbers against David Price, 4 for 11 with a home run. Got under it. That will not be easy. In left center, it's Pilar. And with this high sky, and maybe Harold, you can explain that. The catch is made, 2 out.
Well, you got the angle, and the guy who's not looking directly in the sun, the left fielder at the time it goes up is the one looking into it. That's why Pilar, it was so important for him to come over. He got off to the side of the ball and was able to see it. But the high sky, when you hear people say that, it takes away your depth perception. It means the ball goes up and you don't have clouds, as we see in the background, the stadium, to really give you that depth perception. So when it's just clear blue sky, it's tough to see and gauge how high that ball is and when it's coming down.
So now 1 on 2 out. And a strike hits the outside corner to Hosmer.
And Price has handled lefties in the lineup pretty well. Hosmer, Moustakas, Gordon. Just 7 for 36 lifetime against David Price.
Good pitch, strike 2.
That's the equalizer in the shadow. I know you would think that the fastball, but man, right here, Hosmer's thinking that's a ball in. Ooh, guess it's not.
He's not going to throw many curveballs, a handful or two in the course of a game, but that's a great pitch, well located, fooling Eric Hosmer.
Moustakas made that play at the corner of the dugout. The count still 0-2 on Hosmer. Went 1 for 4 last night with an RBI. Switch hitting Morales on deck, then Moustakas. And a lefty lurking down at the 8th spot, Alex Gordon.
That ball he hit last night, I was asking him about it. He said he thought it hit off the back wall and bounced back onto the field. I said, no, big boy, it did.
He almost rode one out of here. Another 0-2. 95 from David Price, who is a former 20-game winner and a Cy Young Award winner in 2012. First round, first overall. Picked by Tampa Bay in 2007, up in 2008. Started in the bullpen for a team that got to the World Series. Lost to the Phillies. Here's a 1-2 pitch. That gets away. Martin will have to finish it. And he does. Second inning rolls in, game 2. We'll see some good pitching here early. Blue Jays and Royals, no score. Make a plan to make it home. By Chevrolet, find new roads. And by T-Mobile, switch to the Un-carrier today. Today's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV, now part of the AT&T family. Weather is ideal here on the 17th of October on this Saturday. Glad you're with us on FS1. Blue Jays went in order in the first inning. Encarnacion, Colabello, and Tulowitzki. Here in the second, that's a base hit. Off the bat of Encarnacion, who had to leave last night with irritation in the middle finger left hand, and here he is up there hacking with a line drive to the left of Escobar.
Well, it's almost like playing in cold weather. You get one good swing before that hand is going to hurt, or if a ball rings off your bat. He squared it up and got a knock. He came up last night in a big situation, and he was not available. I think that was a big difference in the game last night. He's a game changer.
Had to pinch hit with Smoke. That was with a couple on. And 1 out in the 8th inning when it looked like Ryan Madsen was on the ropes a little. Here's one into center. That's going to drop for a base hit. Off the bat of Colabello, and all of a sudden it's 2 on, nobody out for the Blue Jays in the second.
And Mr. Ventura might start mixing in some breaking balls here. Colabello, notorious first ball fastball hitter. Hit over 500 this year. First ball hitting. Four-seam fastball. Gotta know it's coming by now. And he does.
You see how that ball stayed on the same plane the whole way. In the dark, you're almost saying, all right, I see where he's releasing it at. Here it comes. And in the dark, I mean, when it comes through the shadow. That's why you can hit a fastball. If you mix in a breaking pitch, you saw David Price go to it with Hosmer. Tough to pick up when it changes planes on you, when it's changing the background on the way in.
Well, here's a guy the Blue Jays have got to get going. He gives this lineup so much depth when he's right. He's got a crack in his left shoulder from a late season injury after being picked up by Toronto. He came back the last weekend of the regular season, but the numbers this postseason not good. The exception of that big home run in game 3 in the division series in Arlington. That is his strength number 2 as he can't hold up. It's 0-2.
And that's a good breaking ball right there. But, Joe, you're right. They got to get Tulo going. Last night he had another opportunity where he wasn't able to come through. But there's that breaking pitch moving into shadows. He's in a tough spot right now.
He went around and on 3 pitches strikes out, 1 away.
It's a helpless feeling. Watch this breaking ball, and I love to watch the light. It goes from light to dark, and once that hits that dark, you can't see the tilt. Done.
So he doesn't get a hit, does not advance the runners, is now 2 for 26 in the postseason. And Russell Martin, who had a nice year producing runs and is back at catcher today after Navarro caught game 1, is up with 2 on 1 out. Knocked in 77, is 3 for 15 so far this postseason. Hit .240 in his first year in Toronto. That's ball 1.
That's where Ventura wants to put that breaking ball, especially with 2 strikes. His go-to spot, same spot for right-handers and left-handers. Glove side down, out of the strike zone.
Two and 1. Russell Martin playing in his 45th career postseason game, which is the most ever for a Canadian-born player. From East York, Ontario. Trying to excite an entire country with a hit. Takes strike 2.
Well, that was just dirty right there. That's a tough pitch to hit. You get 2 breaking balls, you lay off, and then he comes back and paints one on the outside half. You can't do anything with that.
Full count, good block by Perez.
That's the pitch, the 2-strike curveball. Interesting to see if he wants to double up on it. He wants to get the chase swing right here.
Yeah, I didn't like the pitch call. You're throwing in the shadows. He's throwing 97. You just paint one on the black 98. And now 3-2 if I'm Russell Martin. I'm not even thinking about a breaking ball.
That is for a double play. Escobar. This Kansas City team can get you in a lot of ways. On the mound and in the field, Escobar with a diving catch to win the inning. The DH, Kendrys Morales, will lead it off. Morales, then Moustakas, then Perez against David Price. Blue Jays still haven't had a man reach third base in this series. It's only been 1+ game. But Encarnacion was headed there until Escobar made the diving catch on the line drive to end the top of this second. Russell Martin hit it hard. David Price just threw it hard. 0-2.
Full extension right here. I swear, when the Royals play defense, the soundtrack ought to be Sweet Georgia Brown. They do everything but the confetti in the bucket trick when they play D.
For all you kids out there, that's a Harlem Globetrotters reference.
Globies are still around. Come on.
I know.
It's not Meadowlark's Globetrotters, though.
Not your grandfather's Globetrotters.
Early Neal passed away this year.
Did not think we would get there today.
Yeah.
Here's a 1-2 to Morales. Fouls it away.
You know, think about Escobar and his athleticism. I was talking to him today about him playing in Milwaukee. They had him in the outfield. He said in the minor leagues he was a catcher. Plays everywhere. So then they had him at second, and they finally put me at short.
That seems to have been the right call. Here's a 1-2. A strikeout. That's the second in a row for Price, and the first out here in the second. Official caps, hoodies, jackets, and more. Celebrate with your favorite team at the MLB.com shop.
Tom, how's David Price looking?
I'll tell you what, if you are a Jays fan, that last pitch would have to encourage you. The fastball command. This is a guy facing the toughest team to strike out during this season. 52 pitches with 2 strikes. Got the 3rd strike only 4 of those times. Got 2 punch outs already.
I mean, it is worth highlighting something we didn't talk about last night as you look at that last pitch to get Morales. But this is a Royals team that for the 4th consecutive year struck out the fewest times of any team in the big leagues. They put the bat on the ball. This time Moustakas does it and grounds out to Goins at second. 2 out. Here comes Salvador Perez. Good thing he can answer the bell for Kansas City. Aaron, he was hit last night.
Yeah, we saw him just get whacked by Josh Donaldson's bat, and he told us in a post-game interview, I'm fine, I just got to go get some pictures taken. Well, those x-rays came back negative. I mean, he has been through it in the ALDS, and of course, last night. Tom, you mentioned he had the best answer. I said, how are you producing and holding up at the same time? He's like, I just love baseball. I love playing.
And it shows, and it has shown in October this year, and it certainly did last year. He's now hit 4 home runs in his postseason career. And this season, as Perez waits, the one he hit last night was his 3rd of this October. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Eric's right about that. I mean, listening to him last night or any day, he sounds like a 12-year-old kid. Wouldn't be surprised if he went for an ice cream cone after the game last night. Just, you can't play as much as he does without loving the game as much as he does.
Strike 2, and not much of a chance with that hack.
No, David Price has got it going right now. You know, the other thing with a team that doesn't strike out much, David Price can play the contact game too. And so you talk about it economically with the pitch count as well. He's got it all working. The cutter we've seen now, he's doing the changeup once, fastballs, electric.
Play the contact game, and this is a better defensive club up the middle for the Jays. Tulowitzki, Goins, and Pilar. That's in the dirt. 2-2.
Plus, it's a big yard, you know, so David Price kind of plays into this park a little bit better than maybe up in Toronto where the ball flies a little bit.
Well, I think we'll continue to see some funky swings when we have these inconsistent lighting conditions. Even when the shadow goes over the mound, you will still have a bright batter's eye for the background.
Left side, Tulowitzki has time. Inning over. These Kansas City fans pack into Kauffman Stadium, and they've had fun since the postseason began. They had fun last night. Will they have more today after 2 in game 2? No score. Questions today. Sponsored by Maytag, the Royals pitchers have a streak of 18 scoreless innings. What's the longest streak in a single postseason? They've gone 18 straight scoreless on the mound. What's the longest streak in a single postseason? Here's the other trivia question. Which longtime member of the Harlem Globetrotters did Harold Reynolds in the last half inning say passed away, but who is actually alive and well? Here's a fly ball into right field. This ball is down and past Rios. Into second base is Pilar to start the inning with a double. They had 2 base runners in the second. A line drive double play ended the threat. And now the first extra base hit of the day belongs to Kevin Pilar.
Well, he's been one of their hotter hitters. Watch this ball slice away from Rios. And this is the speed of this outfield. Most outfielders are not going to get to this ball on the backup, but Lorenzo Cain cuts this off and holds him to a double. I thought for sure it was going to be 3 once that hit the ground.
A little surprised he didn't drop down to the ground to try to get that. Perhaps the sun caused him to get a late break on it.
And this is fair. Down the left field line, and the Blue Jays are on the board. Back-to-back doubles. Toronto up 1-0 here in the 3rd inning.
The bottom of the order getting it done.
Well, last night, 3rd inning, Ryan Goins bunted with a runner on first. Moustakas playing in. Not the bunt this time. First pitch fastball. See it right by him.
That's the advantage of playing that game where you can control the bat. You draw him in and hit it by him.
So Goins, who went hitless in the division series, went 0 for 17, had a hit last night, and has the first RBI of this ALCS. Now Revere tries to bunt his way on, and he bunts it foul, strike 1.
Well, Revere tries to bunt for a hit there, but now if he wants to move him over, this guy's one of the best bunters I've ever seen. I'm talking about Rod Carew, talking about some of the greatest bunters ever. This guy's got such a touch. It's amazing how he can handle the bat.
He's got great speed. He's number 3 in baseball in stolen bases since 2011. They're still pinched in. That is taken for ball 1. Go ahead and clean up the mess in aisle 6 that you threw out there last time.
Well, I said Curly Neal, but it was actually Marcus Haynes. So my facts were wrong. I was just picturing the dribbler. I knew he'd passed away.
Okay.
So Curly, I know you're a big baseball fan. It's either the greatest miracle ever or you're watching the game. So thank you. Appreciate that.
Here comes a 1-1 Revere. That will stay foul. Now to count 1 and 2. And I guess when you say he's trying to bunt his way on, right now he's bunting in the mode of just a straight sacrifice to move the runner over.
I'd give him the bunt again. He's that good. And if you want to move him up, I like the idea of him bunting here. I know he might put the ball in play, but it's going to be tough to pull the ball on Ventura as hard as he's throwing and being able to pick it up. And if Ventura's smart, they'll pound him something away. Bunt again.
Oh, dangerous foul ball into the seats over the Toronto dugout. It's one of those where you just don't want to look down there.
Boy. Actually, I think it hit a chair. But that was what I was talking about. He's not going to be able to get around on this guy.
Well, you know, he really is their best contact hitter, ground ball hitter. Should be able to put the ball in play somewhere on the ground.
A run home, a runner at second, nobody out. Strike 3 call, 1 away.
Looks like the comeback 2-seamer here. Saw ALCS do it last night to Revere. And there's the encore. The hips go out, the ball comes back. Great execution by Ventura. Watch the run on this pitch come back. Can't throw that one any better.
Goins at second with 1 out now for Donaldson. Ball 1 up. Josh struck out his first time. This is a guy who this season with the Blue Jays who put up 93 regular season wins. It was Donaldson right in the middle of seemingly everything. And in the 95 victories that he was a part of the lineup, he hit 374. In the losses, 69 of them when he was in there, he hit 176. At number 2 spot. Such a valuable part, especially in front of Bautista. Strike 2.
Hey, you know what? I saw something with Perez. You know, we talk about framing all the time, but we always think about the catcher, the web of the glove. He'll catch the outside pitch with the big part, but look at how big the web is when he catches it upside down. The top part of that glove is what the umpire is seeing and calling a lot of times. That's what's stealing a strike.
One of the best at it. Two and two. Proving his hand is okay after Donaldson followed through last night, catching Ventura today. With the heat he's bringing, here comes a 2-2. Left side, Goins goes to third. Escobar gets out number 2.
When you're in a shootout like we're going to see today, low scoring, that's why that Ben Revere at bat was so important to move that runner up.
Yeah, I mean, in hindsight, you might have been onto something with just put the bunt on, leave it on with 2 strikes.
True. Bautista did have a home run August 1st off of Ventura. First pitch curveball.
Runner at third, 2 out, ball 1. Talk about a team that put up runs, and we've hit it hard already in 1+ games. Over 800 on the season, and the 2-3 spots in this order, Donaldson and Bautista. 230 of those runs during the regular season. Got under it. Right center. Kane. Blue Jays are on the board. Back-to-back doubles to start the inning. Pilar driven in by Goins. David Price has a 1-0 lead. Had a streak of 18 scoreless innings. What's the longest in a single postseason? The 66 Orioles with 33. Wow. Here's Gordon. First pitch swinging. Popped up left side. Tulowitzki with a better angle on it. 1 out. That was a World Series, and the Dodgers scored on a home run by Jim Lefevre. The bases loaded walk by Jim Gilliam in the first 3 innings of Game 1, and that was it. The Orioles shut him out for the last 33 innings of the series, led by Mo Drabowski, Jim Palmer, Wally Bunker, and Dave McNally.
Wow, I wouldn't have thought that was the guys that were throwing. I thought it was Cuellar would be in there.
And Jim Palmer looked exactly the same.
Yes.
Hasn't changed a bit.
Here is Rios, takes a strike.
And he can tell you every pitch he threw, not only in that series, but in his whole entire life.
There was a 20-year-old Jim Palmer. Bested 30-year-old Sandy Koufax in Game 2. Hard hit right at Tulowitzki. 2 quick outs. And the batter will be Alcides Escobar.
How about that? Jim Palmer and Sandy Koufax. You knew one of them was going to be a Hall of Famer. But eventually, at that point, you knew Jim Palmer eventually would be as well. But at that point, 20 years old.
That, by the way, that Game 2 start for Sandy Koufax in '66 was the last game Sandy ever pitched, following a career-high 27 wins. 2 out. Escobar takes a strike, and I would say the early returns on David Price are very good.
Very good fastball command. Don't forget that first game in the ALDS, he was pitching with 11 days of rest.
I think it's a great point, Tom. 11 days rest, and then the other game, they had him up 7th and 8th inning, and you know he's been thrown off schedule. This is the first real consistent. Get my 5 days, my routine. I know when I'm throwing. Let's go get them.
Escobar has the only hit for Kansas City. It came on the first pitch. No surprise. Leading off in the first inning, and he singled into right.
It's groundbreaking, too. Look at all the pitches he's seeing.
Usually that's not good for him.
It's going to be on 1-2. Just a weak comebacker. A quiet inning for Kansas City against David Price, and after 3 in game 2, Blue Jays up 1-2. It's Chevy Truck Month. Time to make a strong decision like choosing a 2015 Silverado today. Chevrolet is proud to be the official vehicle of Major League Baseball. For my money, this is the best sports complex in the United States. Arrowhead right next door. How about them riding fastball from Ventura? And then Kauffman Stadium right here. 2 facilities where you walk in. Ground level is midway up in each stadium. So they're dug out. They know how to tailgate. They know how to make noise. We will run into a wall of noise on Monday night in Toronto. It's going to be loud up there too.
Now, is there a tunnel that takes you between the two?
I think there is.
Yeah, I think so.
Beautiful. Both still look like they were built last year.
Chiefs got to figure it out under Andy Reid. It's been a slow start. Here's the 0-2. Encarnacion singled his first time, then was doubled off second on a line drive. Hit by Russell Martin. 2 on 1 out. That came in the second.
All very good swings so far by Encarnacion. Bottom hand staying on the bat.
You guys see where his Zobers is?
Strike 3. Here's Ned Yost, manager of the Royals, talking about his young right-hander. He looks good today.
He has, boy, that's for sure. You know, when he's really going good, he's popping that fastball for strikes, but he's also mixing in a consistent curveball. And, you know, his curveball's really good right now. It can get a little more consistent in the strike zone, but the changeup's working, the fastball's jumping.
What are your hitters saying about how hard it is to see out there?
It's hard to see right now. The 3 o'clock games here late in the season are tough. That the back wall kind of has a glare to it, and it's tough to see, but it's tough for both teams.
Yeah, and finally it looks like you have your hands full with David Price.
We do, but you know, our guys keep battling, and they'll find a way to, you know, get a pitch and put it in the outfield and score some runs.
As always, thanks for the time.
You got it. Thank you.
All right. And Yost in his 6th season, 5th full. He delivered the first division title with the Kansas City Royals since they won it all back in 1985. Came back from down 3-1 against Toronto in the ALCS. That was the first year best of 7, and came back from down 3-1 to St. Louis in the World Series. Left side backing up Moustakas. Long throw, 2 out. Here comes Tulo.
Well, after family, there's nothing a player holds dearest than his glove. And the glove for Troy Tulowitzki has been way past its expiration date, but he does not want to give it up. Look, just securing a routine ground ball is becoming difficult because of this glove. It's at least 8 years old. It's incredibly floppy. It's got 3 or 4 rips in the middle of it. I mean, it's like playing shortstop with a buttermilk pancake.
You're right. I mean, a glove is a precious thing, but I've seen guys with flat gloves. If you take a piece of paper right now, flat piece of paper, put it in your hand, and you go, okay, what now? That's what Alan Trammell's glove looked like. It was that flat. It's just personal preference.
It's preference, but I'm telling you, there have been several times now where the floppiness of that glove makes it difficult to close on the baseball. That glove started out 11.5 inches, and it's a little more than 12 inches now because it's so stretched out. He told me before this series started, I think I have 2 more weeks left in it.
Blue Jays hoping he gets to test that. Here's one into left. Tulowitzki on with 2 out. So basically, I sense, and I'm with Tom, that it could be, while it's a comfort for Tulowitzki, also a liability. And Harold, you think it's no big deal?
I don't think it's a big deal. I think if you don't have that comfort, he would have got rid of it by now. You know, look, at the beginning of the year, you're given 2, 3 gloves, and when you get to his status, you can get any glove you want anytime. So you always have a backup glove that you use during batting breaks. you probably use it more than your gamer. But your gamer, that's your confident glove. That's it. I wouldn't want to make an error with my backup glove. I'd rather have one that's ripped up that I think I only got 1 week left and play with that.
That last play, Escobar said, I don't even need a glove to try to make a play.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. I liked his reaction there. Went back and tried to go left with the glove and then went barehanded to try to catch it like a pass.
It's got protection on that finger that comes out of the glove. A sheath on that index finger on his left hand. Here's a 1-1.
You want to talk about the relationship of a glove and an infielder? I remember in minor league ball, when we finally started flying, when we get to AAA, everybody would carry their glove on. You can lose my clothes. You can't lose my glove.
Troy's old manager in Colorado, Walt Weiss, had a glove that was so old and ugly and smelly, they used to call it the creature.
Russell Martin waits for a 2-1. Hard hit at Moustakas. Getting over. Blue Jays now have stranded 3. Bottom of the 4th inning rolls in. Big bats coming up for the Royals. Down 1. And Dave Keckner, they have their big slick event and a great wiffle ball game on that field right next to Kauffman Stadium. You can share your play ball moments on Twitter and Instagram using hashtag #playball for a chance to have them appear on MLB's social channel.
Well, Paul Rudd must have hopped into his Ant-Man outfit to play on that field.
First pitch is strike to Zobrist. Lorenzo Cain and Eric Hosmer to follow. 1-0 Toronto here in the 4th inning. Had a chance to visit with John Gibbons, manager with the Blue Jays, and we'll get that to you after Zobrist does something. Second time through, Tom Verducci. He had a nice piece in Sports Illustrated on the travels and the travails of John Gibbons, and he's about as comfortable as a manager can be in October.
And I think it shows in the way his team plays, Joe. I mean, they play loose. He likes that. His players like that. No question, this guy takes nothing for granted. Salt of the earth type of guy.
53-year-old former first-round pick by the Mets. Same first round where the Mets got Strawberry. That's inside. Ball 1 on Zobrist.
You know, he was managed here before, got fired, coached here in Kansas City, back to AA to manage. General manager Alex Anthopoulos called him up. The job became available again. He didn't even think it was about managing.
That's on the outside corner. Zobrist doesn't think so. John Gibbons will be happy with that call, and he's also happy with the way David Price has started this game.
Yeah, he's strong, and he's hitting the spots. You know, he's got a little bit of breaking ball that he's throwing over too, and yeah, he looks good. He really does, and that's big for us.
Yeah, how are your guys able to see Yordano Ventura? It looks like both sides are feeling for it right now with his son out in center field.
Yeah, you know, they're really tough shadows right now, and you got 2 power arms, and that makes it doubly tough. But you got to battle through it. There's really nothing you can do about it. They weren't going to change the game time. So, you know, we're stringing some hits together. We're putting some up there. You know, we had a chance. You know, we took the lead. We had a chance maybe to add one more there. It didn't happen, but we're feeling pretty good right now. It's more like us. We need hits, and we need to score runs to win.
And if you can get this one and go home 1-1, boy, what a lift that would be.
Yeah, Joe, we'd be very happy with that at this point.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, guys.
All right. Well, Troy Tulowitzki in that beat-up, old, tattered glove just made a play to the left, and Harold saying, "See, I told you, no problem."
I call it old reliable. I mean, he's going to make the plays. There's little things that happen. You want that ball coming out a certain way out of your glove. He's a guy that likes to move and attack all the time. He probably has a great rhythm of pulling it out. It's ugly.
And it probably smells, too. It's just the opposite of Ozzie Smith. Ozzie Smith used to like the glove right out of the wrapper. Liked it firm, hard. It's one of the best hands in the world. That is the complete opposite of firm and hard.
2 out, nobody on. Batter is Hosmer. By the way, Eric Stonestreet, now that I've named all those guys with a big slick, which is a children's hospital charity here in Kansas City, he's another Kansas Cityan who's involved, and I don't want to leave him out because if we run into him, then I'm going to hear about it. Here's a foul tip, and a 1-2 count on Hosmer, who struck out his first time.
Well, at least you're cleaning up people that are living still, so that's good.
That last report, Eric, is fine. Base is empty. Ball's coming out of the hand of David Price really well. A strikeout. That's his 4th of the day. And David Price is making the most so far out of a 1-run lead. It's game 2. ALCS FS1. KC up 1-0, trailing here today. 1-0. Insurance, official sponsor of Major League Baseball. By AT&T, mobilizing your world. And by the Quesarito and Volcano Quesarito. Big boxes, grab them at Taco Bell. Good pitching, 5th inning, 1-0. Toronto on top. First up is Pilar. He doubled to start the 3rd inning and then scored on a follow-up double by Ryan Goins. And that's it. By the way, on the other side, David Price has 39 pitches through 4 innings. That is making the most. As you see, by comparison, this next pitch by Ventura will be number 57.
David Price is putting hitters away. He had trouble doing that against Kansas City in the regular season.
The 1-1.
I think also what we're seeing is the experience of David Price. He understands he's got an advantage with the shadows against a team that's going to put the ball in play. So use it to your advantage. Go ahead and put the ball in play. You're keeping him in the game.
Popped up right side, playable. Hosmer 1 out.
You know, we've been seeing so much firepower. It's amazing what the Royals pitchers have been able to do. Ventura today, coming into this inning, he had 37 fastballs, all over 95. Look what happened yesterday in game 1. Volquez threw 55 pitches over 95. Madsen 10. Herrera 7 of 7 that he threw. Hoshaver threw 1. I mean, this is incredible. 78% of the pitches are 95 miles an hour or better.
Here's Goins, who put one between Moustakas and the bag. His first time up for an RBI double. 1 ball, 1 strike.
And Harold, that was so impressive to me last night with Volquez beating this team with so many fastballs, because this is by far, statistically, the best fastball hitting team in the big leagues.
They got a lot of guys that can turn it around, no doubt. Good look at Dave Ireland right there. Talking with him, well, I still think the best move last night was his decision to go out and have a conversation with his pitcher.
That's strikeout number 5 and 2 out here in the 5th for Ventura.
A little Michael Jackson slide after that one. He's starting to feel pretty good about himself.
A full weekend of greats. Postseason action continues tonight and tomorrow. Then on Monday, it's game 3 of the ALCS between these two teams as we go to Toronto. Coverage beginning at 7 Eastern right here on FS1. How are you seeing the Mets and the Cubs in LCS shaking out?
Future is now. So many great young players have arrived quickly. I think if it gets to game 7, you have to like the New York Mets at home with DeGrom lined up.
Tonight, John Lester, Matt Harvey. Count 2-0 on Revere.
I think Harvey's the wild card. He's usually your #1 starter. Is going to be that guy that throws 2 and maybe in 3 games. And if it goes the distance, it's going to come down, what can Matt Harvey bring for you? All the conversation of pitch counts, and he is coming off of Tommy John surgery. How strong will he be? But that stress will be the difference for me.
The 2-1. In the air to left, and making the catch down on a knee is Gordon. And it's a quick and easy fifth for your Dono Ventura, the 24-year-old. Looking good. Halfway through it, game 2, 1-0. Blue Jays on top. David Price just missed up and away ball 1 as we begin the bottom of the 5th. Here's Kendrys Morales. He'll be followed by Moustakas and Salvador Perez. 1-0. Toronto on top in game 2. Big swing, strike 1. Follow every pitch of the postseason with MLB.com at Bat, the #1 app for live baseball. Stay connected with highlights, replay reviews, scores, pitch tracking, live radio broadcasts, and more. Download the at Bat app. Here's a 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Again, just 42 pitches to this point for David Price, who has struck out 4, walked nobody. The only hit on the first pitch he threw to Escobar in the first. 3-1.
Royals will tell you Kendrys Morales is the smartest hitter, certainly the most studious hitter that they have. Last night, Marco Estrada made them look bad 2 times. Third time up, got first pitch ripped to right field. Spent a lot of time studying video.
Maybe he knows what's headed his way on 3-1.
He went for the pump, too.
He swung like he expected that one. Missed it.
Sure did.
You go to the batting cage here behind the dugout. It looks like a high-tech startup firm with all the computer monitors right by the cage, and that's where you will find Morales.
Just spoiled it.
You know, I talked to Kenji before the game. You were talking last night, Joe, about his injury with the celebration in Anaheim, and he broke his ankle. He said it took 2 years for it to recover. And he said, I'm finally feeling like I can move around and actually be able to play in the field defensively. It's taken that long. It's been 5 years.
Yeah, it was back in 2010, celebrating a walk-off grand slam for the Angels. Hello, Donaldson. How is your left hand feeling? That was Tulowitzki's glove. That might have been the death knell.
Might have done it. This ball is scorched.
Oh boy, JD.
Wow. Can't hit it any harder. 1 out. Ken Rosenthal is with us. We'll get to Kenny after this first pitch to Moustakas, who grounded out. His first time up. Good job by Price to battle back from a 3-1 count. It hasn't all been bad, Kenny, for David Price. When you hear the numbers 0-6 as a starter, there have been some good ones and some big games for him as well.
There have been, Joe, and 3 of those 6 career postseason starts were quality starts, including last year for the Tigers against the Orioles. 8 innings, 2 runs, a game the Tigers lost 2-1. He also has pitched well in some late season games that weren't technically part of the postseason. Think back to last year. Game 162, the AL Central clincher for the Tigers. The year before, Game 163, the tiebreaker for the Rays. He threw a complete game that day. Guys, we've seen it time and time again. Give a great player enough opportunities in the postseason, and they'll eventually figure it out.
Well, he's figured something out here today. His stuff has been, I want to say electric, but it's pretty close. I mean, it's hard when you see what Ventura, how he's just had the ball exploding out of his hand, but Price has been dialed in for sure. Behind on the count here again, second straight hitter. Here's a 2-1.
I think we're also starting to see the effect of the shadows. Remember earlier I was talking about when the pitcher's in the light and the hitter's in the dark, it's tough to see. Now you have a little darkness behind the pitcher. They've had better swings at David Price, being able to pick it up a little bit.
You remember Ned Yost said that background there, as you can see, it glistens. Light shining on the batter's eye in center field.
That's in the air to center. Breaking in and now back is Pilar. able to recover 2 out. StatCast is powered by Amazon Web Services. That line drive.
Let's go back to the line drive by Morales. This ball was torched, right? Well, we always talk about how fast it comes off the bat on a home run. How about that? 110 miles an hour. So the other night we saw the home run, but Perez, that was 109. So imagine if he gets that ball in the air, where that's going to land. But that's what you're contending with when you're in the infield with those line drives at you.
There's Salvador Perez, grounded out his first time, homered last night. Pops out. Left side of the hole, Tulowitzki knocks it down, has time, gets his man. 5 shutout innings put up by David Price. And here in game 2, into the 6th inning, Toronto will bat. Big bats coming up, leading by 1. It's a Pac-12 showdown tonight as Anu Solomon and the Arizona Wildcats are in Boulder to take on the Colorado Buffaloes. It all starts at 9 Eastern right here on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. Big bats now for Toronto, up 1-0. Donaldson, Batista, Encarnacion, strike 1 at 97.
Quick pitch him right there. That's what the argument's about. He didn't go through the full windup. He gave him a little quick pitch.
One ball, one strike.
They usually go to the side. Here's that first pitch down a little bit to Donaldson, but also he quick pitched him. Didn't go to that little side windup and deliver all the way through. Boom, just jumped it on him.
Las Diaz has been very consistent calling those pitches strikes just off the outside edge.
See that motion right there? That was the little quick pitch on everybody real quick. They've done that a couple times, Donaldson, in the postseason here. We saw it happen with Texas as well.
Breaking ball stays inside. The count 2-1. It's Donaldson now, then Batista, then Encarnacion. If anybody gets on, Colabello. Blue Jays clinging to that 1-0 lead. That's back toward the Royals dugout. And it hits a wire.
Dead ball.
Even though Perez caught it, it's a dead ball. And Perez just shows you how great of an athlete, the hand-eye to catch it with his bare hand.
Not only that, Joe, but going back to the screen, he took his eye off the baseball a couple of times to make sure he had room and get all the way to the wall. But you're right, that's a dead ball. That's a thrown ball from the outfield or any ball in play. It's a live ball, but a batted ball hitting that wire, that is dead as soon as it hits it.
Now, if you're playing in a dome, there's a good chance that ball would be live. But here's the athleticism you're talking about, Joe. It hits, get back, catch it, hand-eye coordination. Las Diaz right on it. Now, umpires go over the ground rules every stadium they go to. So as soon as this ball hit, he knew immediately what the rule was. It's a great play.
I mean, what are the odds? That doesn't hit the wire. He does catch that ball. A thin wire now, and Donaldson gets another swing.
This is Donaldson's year.
2-2. Now he's going to test the left side. Escobar. Safe.
Did you think he wasn't going to get a hit? I mean, come on. You can't have a ball hit a wire when you're going to be out in a stadium that has no wires anywhere in sight and not get a base hit. It's his year.
Good call. First base umpire, John Hirschbeck.
I'm still laughing. That's close. Real close.
So the leadoff man is on. Infield hit. The batter is Batista. And a ball outside.
Big break for the Jays. Look, that's a foul ball out. It may have been challengeable.
They talk about the ball getting into the back of the mid. Part one, part two. The old tie goes to the runner. That's about as close to a tie as you're going to see. I thought it was a good call.
I agree with you.
Batiste is 0 for 2. Hit 40 during the regular season. And he was looking for another. He's hit 2 this postseason. 2-1.
That was a good changeup. That was a good call on that pitch 2-0. You can see, though, how the Blue Jays know how to hit home runs. When they get in counts where it's time to take a pump, they do it.
Just outside, 3-1.
You start to see the ball a little bit better, too. Even we're seeing it better from up here.
Bautista looking for anything middle in right here.
Outside, 2 on, nobody out. And that's the first walk issued by either pitcher.
So that's a couple nights in a row now. They've had situations with 2 on, no out, and they haven't been able to do anything with it. Encarnacion's healthy playing tonight.
See if he can cash in. He was part of it back in the second. He led off with a hit. Colabello with a base hit. Then a strikeout of Tulowitzki and a line drive double play hit into by Russell Martin. Now it's 2 on, nobody out. For the DH, the cleanup man, Encarnacion.
There's a hand flying off the bat again. You see that? Bottom hand. And that's the left hand that's been injured as he takes this swing. Watch this here. Remember, he's got that injury, and you don't see guys let go with the left hand because that's the pulled hand. That's your strong hand you're going to pull that bat through on.
That foul tip also caught a lot of Salvador Perez. So Laz Diaz, the home plate umpire, bought a little time for the Kansas City catcher and went out and personally delivered a new baseball to Ventura.
Great working relationship. That's having a feel for the game. Hats off to Laz Diaz right there.
2 on, nobody out. The 0-1. Strike 2.
This is a cutter right here from Ventura, perfectly placed. We talked about getting those calls on the outside edge from Laz Diaz. One more.
Ball 1.
Well, this is the tough part of managing. The 5th and 6th innings. Because everything else is basically scripted, particularly for the Royals. Ned knows where he wants to go if you get to that 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Two and 2. 39 home runs this year for Encarnacion. Blossomed in a Toronto uniform, started with Cincinnati. A career high 42 home runs in 2012. Then 36, 34 this year, 39.
He's kind of guiding the bat through. You don't see that whip and that force from Encarnacion right there. And he's flexing that hand every swing.
That may not be a pretty swing. That's an effective one. Back to the cutter there, and a nice emergency hack to get himself another pitch.
From 0-2 to 3-2.
Playing with fire.
O'Shaver is up for the Royals in their pen. Right now it's Ventura's 3-2. Left side. Under the glove of Escobar, and they're going to bring the runner Donaldson to the plate. The throw home, too late, 2-0 Toronto.
You can't continue to go down in the count and give these guys hitters counts. They're going to capitalize on you.
Well, Encarnacion able to answer the call today after leaving last night with a middle finger issue on his left hand, and he has 2 hits.
A real good hitter wins the battle here. Ventura going to stay hard throughout this at bat with fastballs and cutters. The 2-strike curveball has disappeared in this game. So Encarnacion seeing speeds. There's a changeup right there. Right back with a cutter again, away, not far away enough. And because it's such a big field, you need to respect the power of Encarnacion. That's an easy score from Donaldson, even with nobody out.
The other thing I think about, too, is Tommy talked about Del Swaim, hitting coach for the Royals, said the first 2 or 3 innings are going to be very difficult for the hitters because of the shadows. Now you're getting a chance to really see the pitches coming in.
Well, now 2 on, still nobody out for Colabello.
Get time.
Ken Rosenthal, this is something that Encarnacion's been dealing with here in the second half.
He has been, Joe, since late July, and yet, even though the injury has forced him to sit out 3 different times, miss a total of 8 games, he had his highest monthly OPS of the season in August, and his second highest in September, October. So when he is able to actually play, he hits.
Strike 1 on Colabello, who's 1 for 2. Third base coach is Luis Rivera. As you said, Tom, he was on top of it, sending Donaldson, who despite all the power can really run, as he proved with the infield hit to start this inning. And he scored easily on Alex Gordon in left. The 0-1.
Think about how this inning started, Joe. A foul ball to Donaldson that hit a wire. He's out. That ball's going to be caught. And then he beats it out with a ground ball base hit.
Like a high changeup right there. Stayed soft on Colabello the first 2 pitches.
It was the infield hit, then a walk to Bautista, then the 3-2 pitch that was grounded through the left side by Encarnacion to double the lead. Still nobody out.
Just haven't seen a lot of those curveballs down. Chase curveballs.
Ball 1.
And it almost looks like they changed the script. Uh-oh, they can see the ball a little bit better now. And they panicked on themselves. He had a great game going, dominating hitters. The stuff is still there. 97 is 97.
Well, think about last night. Edinson Volquez rolled through 5 in the 6th inning. Looked like he started to waver a little bit and pulled it back together. Run is scored here as we look at the Geico in-game box score for the Blue Jays. RBIs for Encarnacion and Goins. Ventura trying to pull it back together. Here comes a 1-2 to Colabello.
I think you start to look for a way to get him out. I would not be surprised to see a pickoff play at second base here, as much as Bautista's trying to jump around and move around out there, whether it comes from Perez or the pitcher. You're looking for ways to get an out, maybe pick up your pitcher a little bit.
And that curveball was not the put away curveball. That one hung.
The only mitigating factor if they go that way is the second baseman Zobrist coming to the bag would be looking right into the sun as he's trying to pick up the pickoff throw from Ventura.
And that does factor in. You know, remember in Colorado, the sun would always sit in the pitcher's eye, in the first baseman's eye, and there's some stadiums like that. So as a base runner, you take the advantage of that and get a bigger lead.
Struck him out, 1 away. Strikeout number 6.
Curveball, not in the dirt, but enough break to it. And again, the chase curveball outside of the zone. All year long with 2 strikes, allowed only 13 hits on that curveball. He's got the feel for it again.
Tulowitzki blooped to hit into left his last time, 1 for 2. 1 for 6 against the Royals in this ALCS. 29th, the Blue Jays and Alex Anthopoulos, their GM, picked up this man, Tulowitzki. On the 30th, David Price. On the 31st, Ben Revere. What a flourish. Here's one into right. Slicing away from Rios. Won't get it. One run at least will score. That's Bautista. They're going to hold Encarnacion at third, and it's 3-0 Toronto in the 6th.
Yeah, Encarnacion thought that ball might get caught, so he froze. Bautista was up on the crack of the bat. Rios got those long strides. You'll see Encarnacion at first. He starts to run. Now he freezes, and that's why he's not going to get there. That was awful close. But what a piece of hitting by Tulo. Take that ball the other way.
Ball off a wire that should have been an out. And now a line drive just off the edge of the glove. Past it. And Alex Rios. Nice job by Tulowitzki. First ball hitting on the ball away, taking it away.
Now second and third, one out, infield in, and Russell Martin. Strike one.
See the good swings they're having, Joe? They're letting it fly now. Feeling comfortable.
We heard from John Gibbons, their manager, that they look a little bit more like themselves here in game 2, and they've looked more like themselves here the last 2 innings than over the first 4. Infield in. Strike 2.
I know it hasn't been said this is a must-win for Toronto, but it's tough to go down 0-2 back-to-back series and think you're going to pull off the miracle and win it. It's hard to do.
And if that were to happen here today, it would happen with David Price getting the start. That's the other factor.
Yes.
But Price has been terrific and now has a 3-0 lead, a chance for more. The 0-2. Ball 1.
This is the MO of this Toronto offense to me. They score runs in bunches. It doesn't matter where they are in the lineup. It just keeps rolling once it gets started.
That's what makes them so tough. I mean, you look at Tulowitzki's pickup, you wonder what did that do in Revere. You gave a leadoff guy in Revere, and you gave Tulo a guy now where he's hitting 6th in the lineup. He's hitting 4 in most other big league lineups. So you back him up by Russell Martin. That's the middle of most people's lineups. They die to have those 2 in the middle. They're hitting down towards the bottom part of their lineup.
2-2. Perez a little staggered after hauling in that pitch that was well outside and down. Bad break for Kansas City on a ball off a wire to start this inning that allowed Donaldson another chance. The infield hit, 2 runs on the board. Second and third, 1 out. And a full count.
Good at bat from Russell Martin. He's seen a lot of pitches now.
Body language is like there's been a pitching change on the part of Yordano Ventura. He kicking at that little pad behind the rubber, and he is frustrated.
And we're used to seeing him as a high energy guy, emotional guy. I haven't seen a lot of that.
That will load him up. So he had Martin set up, lets him get away, and that's all. 2 walks in the inning, 2 singles and a double. 2 runs home, a 3-0 Toronto lead. The bases loaded, only 1 out. And Pilar coming up. A ball off a wire. You give a team like the Toronto Blue Jays a little bit of an opening, they will kick it in, and they lead 3-0 in the 6th. Arizona Cardinals quarterback Carson Palmer out of a plan to fend off the Seahawks. And what does Palmer make of the recent troubles at his alma mater USC? Next on Fox Sports Live, immediately following Game 2. Hochaver takes over here with the bases loaded, 1 out. Batter's Pilar, and he takes a strike.
Tell you what, watching the Blue Jays the last 2 weeks, the hottest hitter has been Pilar. Consistent hitter. May not be hitting the big home runs. He's hit one in that period of time, but he's had great at-bats.
You talk about consistent. Pilar hit 278 for the year. He hit 278 against left-handers, hit 278 against right-handers. He hit 278 before the All-Star break. He hit 278 after the All-Star.
No way. How weird is that? Holy smokes. I don't think I've ever heard that.
Bases loaded, 1 out. Hochevar in a spot to keep his team in the game here. Pilar in a spot to bust it open. Popped up. Infield fly rule in effect. 2 out. A big out for Kansas City.
Huge out. They had a chance to blow this inning open.
The numbers for Giordano. 97 pitches, and that's where he hovered with his fastball. 5 1/3, 3 runs, 8 hits, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks, responsible for all 3 on.
I was watching that last pop-up, Joe. Lorenzo Cain never saw the baseball. Center field right now has gotten a little more difficult as the sun's gotten a little more lower.
Well, here's Goins, the number 9 hitter. He has an RBI double and a strikeout. Strike 1.
That's the cutter from Hochevar. It's his best pitch. It's like a fastball for about 50 feet. Watch it cut.
Former first overall pick, Hochevar, in 2006. Brings it right side. Hosmer. What a job by the right-hander, Hochevar. He keeps Kansas City in the game. And we go to the bottom of the 6th inning with Gordon, Rios, and Escobar coming up. Now it's 3-0 Toronto. During today's aerial coverage brought to you by DirecTV, now part of the AT&T family. 60 degrees at the start of the game on Saturday, October 17th. Game 2. The ALCS. Royals won last night. Blue Jays lead today. Gordon first up. Strike 1. David Price gave up a hit on his first pitch of the game to Alcides Escobar. Since then, he's retired all 15 hitters. Strike 2 on Gordon, who popped out his first time.
I guess saying sharp is an understatement, right? I mean, he's been good, no doubt about it. I loved his reaction after he gave up the base hit. He knew he had good stuff coming out of the bullpen, I think. And that confidence. He kind of just smiled like, really?
Alex Gordon, who was 0 for his first 10 in his career against David Price. Here's that first pitch. The base hit, that little smile by David Price. I agree with you. He knew he had it when he walked out there from the bullpen. Not much there from Gordon, who, as I said, was 0 for his first 10 career at bats against Price, and then in the last meeting on May 8th of this year in Detroit, Gordon went 3 for 4. Going to try and get something started here in the 6th inning.
Well, he's really neutralized the lefties with curveballs and cutters, especially. Impeccable with every pitch today with command.
Got it on the outside corner, 1 away. Strikeout number 5.
Well, when you're around the plate consistently and you're painting like David Price has been, you're going to get some pitches. I thought this ball may have been, as it goes through the zone, it looks like it, but I thought it was off the plate just a tad bit. But it's so close, you're going to get the benefit of the doubt because he's been that good.
Gordon didn't agree, but he is now 0 for 2, and with 1 out, here's Alex Rios.
One thing we can agree on, though, is that Laz Diaz had a great job behind the plate. He's had a nice plate.
Named Jimmy Key, 1992 World Series Game 4, the 16th straight, ties a postseason record. Jay's organization. 1 ball, 1 strike on Rios.
One thing David Price does so well, he keeps his front side on target for so long. In fact, starts out that way. Changed the delivery a few years ago. It's almost a modified stretch position. He used to start like most pitchers, shoulders square to the plate, step into the rubber and then go. Now you'll see him start almost like a medieval archer with that front side on the target. You'll rarely see him lose a pitch to the arm side up. It's caused by flying open. Starts closed, stays closed.
That's on the outside corner. 2 out. Strikeout number 6, and an argument in Spanish on his way off for Alex Rios.
Well, watch the archer go to work here. That front side is going to stay closed throughout the delivery, even from the start. And this guy is just throwing darts right now. Consistency comes to mind. Consistency of Laz Diaz calling these strikes, and consistency of David Price to hit the spot.
Good pitch to me. You know, I love Laz Diaz. Grew up in Miami with Mike Lowell and all those guys down there in that area, and he speaks fluent English, fluent Spanish, as we heard. And in today's game, with so many Latin players, it's such an effective weapon and tool to communicate.
2 quick strikes on Escobar. Wow. In a position here in the 6th inning to strike out the side is David Price.
Now, this is clinical right now.
Just off the corner, and some of the fielders started to walk in toward the dugout for the Blue Jays.
Well, after you score runs, you want to shut down any. He's doing it.
He would be doing it here with an exclamation point if he can get one past Escobar. Off the glove of Russell Martin. Did you kind of get the sense during the division series when they had Price in the bullpen to back up R.A. Dickey in that game 4, and they had him up in game 3, that maybe the confidence wasn't there for him to line him up for a potential game 5? Instead, it was Stroman.
Yeah,
I think David Price is proving something to everyone here today.
No doubt about it. I think the matchup they didn't like, clearly they like it now.
7 strikeouts, including striking out the side in the 6th inning for the 30-year-old left-hander from Nashville, Tennessee, making Toronto happy, leading 3-0 after 6. Of the game is Danny Duffy for Kansas City. Ventura went 5 1/3. Great work by Hochevar. 2/3 came in with the bases loaded, 1 out, and got out of it with a pop-up and a ground out. And now against the top of the lineup, and Ben Revere, it's Duffy, strike 1. Revere 0 for 3, 0 for 7 in this LCS.
Sal was trying to tell him, look out for the rebound.
Look up. First thing I noticed is how big Sal is compared to Revere. My gosh.
Ben waits for a 1-1. Good rip. Strike 2.
When Ned Yost talked about their bullpen is deeper this year, I think when you throw Duffy out in the pen, it's a different dynamic. It takes them to another level.
Believe me, I think he's much better out of the bullpen. Danny Duffy really didn't work out as a starting pitcher. I think he's one of these guys just equipped. Go out there and throw your best stuff. He overthought things as a starting pitcher. Guys that come to mind like Jason Isringhausen simplified the game. Dylan Betances is another one of those guys. As hard as you can for as long as you can, and usually long just means a few hitters. He's got a fastball that just jumps on hitters. He's also showing you the breaking ball to Revere.
Another 1-2. Another foul ball. Revere listed at 5'9". Salvador Perez listed at 6'3".
You can see every bit of it. The contrast on that foul ball.
Revere came up with Minnesota in 2010. 294 in 2012, and then ended up with Philadelphia. Traded there. Traded to Toronto. Last day of July this year. Left side. Escobar has to hurry, and he got it. 1 out.
That's the difficulty of shortstop compared to anywhere else on the diamond in the middle. You cannot bobble a ball. If he bobbles that, even spins it in the glove, Revere's safe. You got to field it clean, and you got to put something on it. That's the game separator. When you want to know about a major league shortstop, you catch the ball consistently, and you have the arm strength to make this throw.
Here's Donaldson. He started the trouble last inning. Talked about it then. Hit a foul ball that hit a wire that's holding up the screen behind home plate. A dead ball, a ball that Perez was stationed to catch, and beat out a grounder to the left side for an infield hit. 2 runs later, it was a 3-0 lead. 0-2 from Duffy. But 97 from Danny Duffy.
And how about the slide step? I don't know. Everybody's trying to throw Donaldson's timing off a little bit. It doesn't matter who the pitcher is. He's that good a hitter and that well respected.
You see it a lot in today's game. These hitters with the high leg kicks. Pitchers try to get them out of their timing by varying their timing with the delivery.
Center field, came to his left. 2 out.
Here's what we're talking about. Different timing. Watch this one. Quick pitch almost as if a runner on first base. A slide step. And now, high leg kick. Difficult to time when each pitch a little bit different. Donaldson with the high leg kick. This is a tough matchup right here on Bautista for Danny Duffy. 4 for 8 with 4 walks.
I thought you were going to say 4 homers.
Bautista. Strike 1.
Jose's shown a lot of patience this series, though. Taking pitches that have taken his walk.
He's walked 4 times already.
But I think that's a credit to the lineup. There was a period in time in Toronto he was the guy. He had to swing the bat. And now with Encarnacion coming on and Donaldson added this year, and you move down the line, Russell Martin, Tulowitzki, it allows him to be a little more patient now.
Look at these numbers on Bautista. How much better he gets late in the game. Believe me, that is highly unusual in today's game with what's coming out of bullpens.
That might be where you see some of the arrogance from him, too. He knows he's good. If you're hitting the best pitchers in the game, you got an arrogance and a confidence about you that goes beyond understanding at times.
2-1. 2-2.
The average big league hitter batting average goes down about 14-15 points against relievers. With Bautista, goes up about 80-85 points. He likes the hard stuff.
What's impressive, Joe, is these Blue Jay hitters, they grind out at bats. It looks like they're losing all the time. You know, when you're losing and you're focusing, like this is our last at bat, it's our last opportunity. They do that with every at bat from the beginning to the end of the game.
They led the big leagues in walks. 3-2 pitch. And it's time to stretch as Bautista didn't like this strike 3 call. And you can see why on a 3-2 pitch. Perfect 7th inning for Danny Duffy. 3-0 game. Toronto on top, and we join public address announcer Mike McCartney for the introduction of God Bless America.
Fans, let's pause to celebrate our freedom and those who work to defend it. Please join us in singing God Bless America, being performed by Gracie Schramm.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairie, to the ocean, white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
Price has retired 18 straight. Crowd is alive and well. Bottom of the 7th inning, 3-0. One pitch and a pop-up. Right side. And it's going to drop as Goins looked like he called for it. Then Bautista stayed away. And the miscommunication cost Toronto an out.
Well, once you start to wave your hands as an infielder, that's a signal to the outfielder you have it. This is a non-verbal communication. Once he starts to wave, Bautista backed off, but somebody's got to say, I got it, or take it. Now, I know the crowd gets loud, but they play in front of loud crowds all the time. That's the sound you're hearing. But as an infielder, you just keep going until you see him out of the corner of your eye. It's a tough communication, but that ball's got to be caught by somebody.
Goes down as a hit. It breaks the string of 18 straight and brings in Kane. Ball 1.
Not sure why he gave up on the baseball, because you could see him clearly call it with the oral sign and then the arm signal.
Well, it comes down to footsteps, you know, and they've played enough games together, so you should know the range of each other and who can get to that ball and who can't.
Well, now it's on Price again. He started this game hearing about the 0-6 record in his career as a starter in the postseason. He's pitched brilliantly here today. Whereas the 2-run rally started for Toronto in the 6th on a break on that ball off the wire. What will that lead to for Kansas City? Here comes a 1-1. Base hit right field. Zobrist will stop at second, 2 on, nobody out.
Second time this series we've seen Kane take that fastball away and just shoot it that way.
The hitting streak is alive and well. Lorenzo Kane has now tied a franchise record, tying Amos Otis as he's hit in 11 straight postseason games. And this was a big one. 2 on, tying run up, and it's the cleanup man Hosmer.
And this is where the leadership comes in. David Price, timeout. Who are the 2 guys coming to the mound? Tulowitzki, Russell Martin. No coach comes out of the dugout, just the 3 veteran guys. Here's what we're going to try to do. Here's what we need to do. And David's carrying the meeting. This is what you look for in a situation like this for your leaders, your veterans to step up.
By Hosmer, strike 1. 94 from David Price.
Love the aggressiveness from Hosmer, because the curveball has been the out pitch for Price against Hosmer. First pitch fastball hitting, just missed it.
The fact that David Price is around the plate. I really am curious how he wiggles through this. This is the thing that champions look forward to. Adversity. Pitch in any other situation. How's he going to do in an adverse time?
Changeup. Down and away. Great plate coverage by Hosmer. Loves the ball away. Zobrist popped the ball up opposite field. Kane, base hit. Opposite field. Hosmer, base hit. Opposite field.
Beautiful piece of hitting. I'm surprised they didn't come back with the curveball. He hasn't come close to hitting a curveball all day. The fastball and the changeup, he's had good swings at.
Aaron Sanchez, the right-hander, getting ready now for Toronto in their bullpen. First and third, still nobody out. And the batter is Morales, the DH. Hosmer, the runner at first. That's his 6th hit of the postseason, and all 6 have driven in runs. He's got 7 RBIs, and this one gets Kansas City within 2.
And Morales hit a bullet the last time up to third base. Remember that 110 miles an hour exit velocity.
Hosmer takes off. Ground ball. A run scores out at first. It's 3-2. Down to second, the tying run.
Turo's catching this ground ball, looking at Goins like, what are you doing? Goins going to run. I like this because Morales is the one guy you're going to double up, but Goins goes a long race because he's covering. He decides to go get the grounder. You got Tulo right there. Don't knock it down. I mean, that's a tough play that Tulowitzki made right there. When a guy cuts in front of you, you lose your vision of that ground ball.
There's the tying run. 1 out. Moustakas at the plate. Strike 1.
Hosmer at first base. I think he's trying to deke Jace here. Look at this lead. And all of a sudden he breaks. This looks like a straight steal. He's not looking back. David Price not allowed a stolen base the entire year. And Eric Hosmer taking off. Morales putting the ball in play.
I'd be surprised if it was a hit and run, but that was a kind of swing.
Wow. Royals baseball put the ball in play.
Moustakas can tie it with a hit. Ball 1. Started with a ball into right that should have been caught. Went down as a hit, landing between Bautista and Goins. But then the Royals took advantage. Kane a base hit. Hosmer a base hit. Morales the RBI ground out. Now Moustakas. Good swing, strike 2. 95 from David Price. Here's what started it.
Well, you think the game is cruel, but you got to be a good team to capitalize on opportunities like this as well. That's what Kansas City's done. But that ball's got to be caught. There's no excuse. There's no other way to say it. It's just got to be an out.
It's almost like he heard somebody else yell, "I got it," the way he gave up on that ball. He had it lined up.
Two and 2.
Yeah, Tom, you know, if it was a regular afternoon game in June, you may hear a fan yell, "I got it, I got it." But not today.
See now, no overshift against Moustakas, especially against Price, especially runner in scoring position, more likely to go the other way.
It's a great pickup.
Hit. Here comes the runner. Throw home by Bautista. Tie game. Moustakas has tied it. Hosmer scores. It's 3-3.
A heck of a read by Hosmer. This is a changeup again. Moustakas drills it, but here's why I say it's a heck of a read by Hosmer. This ball's barely over Goins, but he's off on the crack of the bat. I thought, no way they're going to score because Bautista throws so well. But because of the jump that Hosmer gets, it really ends up being a no contest play at the plate. He just took a big gamble. That ball's caught. It's a double play.
Now Perez to give the Royals their first lead of the game.
Watch Hosmer. Crack of the bat. Off and running.
And a great read by Moustakas to move up on the high throw from Bautista.
It is deafening in here. For Moustakas, that base hit, breaks up an 0 for 13 slump going back to the division series against Houston. Guy who went deep 5 times last postseason.
Isn't it amazing how quick the game turned? I mean, David Price was in cruise control, total domination.
Now he doesn't get the corner. It's 2-1.
Well, if you missed the Royals rally, epic rally in Game 4 of the ALDS, this has been your encore presentation. Single, 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 ground ball single.
By Salvador Perez, and he's yelling at himself as he fouls it back. 2-2.
When you wonder why a guy adds home runs when he hadn't hit them a lot before, it's counts like that. 2-1, you take a big rip, and that adds to your home run totals. When you jump on a pitch you know you're going to get.
Off the face of Russell Martin.
I think that was a bigger rip than the last one, Joe.
Sure was.
Well, the light here is definitely flattened out. Background no longer an issue. See that back go all the way behind Perez with some violence in that swing.
And that's like getting hit by a boxer right there.
David Price came into this inning having thrown 66 pitches through 6. He struck out the side in the 6th. That's how in control he was. He's thrown 20 pitches this inning, and the trouble started on a ball that fell into right between 2 fielders, Goins and Bautista. Pitch number 87 will be a 3-2 delivery to Salvador Perez. Eventually.
Well, you know, normally I'd say you get a starting pitcher into the stretch for the first time in a couple of hours. It may take a while for that pitcher to adjust, but with David Price, we talked about his windup. So similar to his delivery, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah, no, that modified windup he uses is basically a stretch.
It's a modified stretch, absolutely. Results very different this inning.
I think you can't discount the fact that the shadows are gone. We're seeing everything now.
See that batter's eye in center field, glistening for most of the day. Flat light now.
Salvador Perez at the end of another long season, getting great swings against David Price here in the 7th. Got him on the outside corner, 2 down. Strikeout number 8.
Great pitch of getting him off of what he was seeing earlier. It comes back with a nice little cutter, a backdoor cutter on the outside half.
all those fastballs, and you think it's another one. Right-handed hitter gives up on it, comes back just enough. Been a strike all day.
Guys, you can see John Gibbons talking to bench coach DeMarlo Hale after the hit by Moustakas. With Perez up, a decision with Sanchez ready in the bullpen. They keep Price in because the lefty Gordon was due up next. Here he is. Go ahead, run at second, 2 out, ball 1.
Yeah, you might be looking at David Price's last hitter of the day, unless of course he gets through this inning. Then maybe they'll bring him back, but because the pitch count is still low.
Now Kelvin Herrera getting loose for Kansas City in their pen. He was overwhelming last night. The 1-0. Gordon takes a strike. It's as hard as we've seen Price throw all afternoon. 96.
He looks great. I mean, he really, they've done a nice job of hitting. It's been a crazy inning, but his stuff is there, and he's pinpoint control.
Good fastball again from Price. It's 2-2.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see the same pitch. Pitch to your strength, pitch to the umpire's strike zone. The fastball away and hitting it all day, then getting the call all day. Gordon is a guy who likes to hook those outside pitches. Generally does not take it the other way.
It's really been the changeup that has let him down here in the 7th. Foul down the left field line. This series will shift to Toronto on Monday night. On the air at 7 Eastern. And the matchup: Johnny Cueto, Marcus Stroman. Full count. The right-handed hitting Alex Rios on deck.
They did throw that changeup, Joe. That was what Hosmer got the hit on. You have to go back to that fastball on the outside corner.
That or the cutter that runs away. Something away, though. I wouldn't go back to the changeup. I think you're doing a favor at that point in time. Do it again.
It'll be the 8th pitch of this at bat coming from Price. We went 18-5 overall in the regular season, 9-1 with Toronto, 1-1 so far during the playoffs this season. It's into right center. It's going to get loud. Here comes Moustakas. Royals take the lead 4-3. for Kansas City, taking advantage of the way the inning started, scoring 4 and leading by 1. City Royals just rolling right out of here.
Well, the toughest team to put away in baseball just did it again. A great at bat by Gordon. 8 pitches. The fastball, yes, but he missed with that one. Wanted it away, ran back over the plate. And David Price got crowned. Royals baseball, put it in play, grind out at bats. One single after another.
Now Rios with Kansas City leading by 1. Runner at second after the double by Gordon. And Aaron Sanchez, one of the young hard-throwing right-handers, out of the bullpen for Toronto. Misses upstairs, ball 1.
Innocent little fly ball. Changed everything.
But misses, ball 2.
Look back at David Price's numbers and you'll say, rough outing. He could have 19 guys out in a row.
That's up the middle. Here comes Gordon. There's another run. It's 5-3.
Just amazing, Joe. 6 singles. Only 1 was pulled. Opposite field, middle of the field. 1 single after another. Leaky faucet. Drip, 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 drip.
The thing I'm seeing, Tom, is this team hits the fastball. All these hits coming on fastballs.
Rios is taken out for the pinch runner and the better defender, Paulo Orlando. He's at first as Alcides Escobar is the 9th man to bat here in the 7th.